I basically had the human version of Pimp My Ride.
Hello everyone, I'm Colin and welcome back to my channel. Well, I was not expecting to be doing this today. I actually had a whole other video planned, but I've decided to talk about Glitter and Lasers again because she has finally posted a regular YouTube video. If I'm being honest, I've been trying to branch out and talk about other stuff that interests me, especially since I generally feel like I've kind of said my piece about Anna, but I feel like some people were probably expecting me to talk about this video, and I do have some things to say. If you're new here, let me give you some background. There will be timestamps in the description. Anna O'Brien, Glitter and Lasers, is an influencer who initially made a name for herself on social media doing plus-size fashion hauls. She had a social media presence before that, but the hauls are what she's most known for. Years ago, I may have seen her clothing hauls pop up on Instagram or something from time to time, but I didn't know who she was until a creator that I like, Megan Ann, made a video about her reality check.
I want to be where I was, and I'm not there. 2.5 months of working out is not going to get me there. This is 2.5, 3 years.
Anna decided she needed to lose weight for her health, and while some people in her body positive community didn't like that, a lot of people supported her, including me. I was actually looking forward to following her journey on YouTube since it seemed like she was eager to share it, and seeing her seemingly candid video is part of what inspired me to make a lifestyle change myself. And then a lot of other things happened instead.
Y'all know I've been on a health journey. Duh. If you've missed it on my channel, I don't know how. You can click the link down in my bio and get 14 days free with your own fitness and health expert coach.
One of the biggest misconceptions I think people have about me is that like I eat all the time or something. I actually often have to remind myself to eat.
This is my snack basket. And this is just some of my snacks. So one of the things I do that's kind of, because I am really obsessed with this, like snacking is really important to me. Over the last 6 months, I've had a lot of trouble losing weight. My body's changed, but I haven't lost weight, and I had started to really punish myself for it, reducing calories further, working out more. It wasn't healthy. People like to say a lot of mean things about my body. They like to remind me how big I still am, how I haven't lost enough weight. They even say I'm lying about my journey. I have a condition called lipedema. It doesn't matter how well I take care of myself. My lipidemic fat will always be there. I'm gonna crash real hard after this. This was really hard. Which is like super embarrassing to say because like literally a month ago I ran a 5K. I am having surgery to address my lipedema. I'm not the problem. The condition is the problem. Good morning, internet. I am here at the Roxbury Institute now. We're gonna do my pre-op photos, get ready for surgery tomorrow, and I'm gonna tell you guys all about surgery number 3.
Actually, Anna's shenanigans, especially her weight loss and nutrition misinformation, were part of what inspired me to start my channel. I found her simultaneously frustrating but fascinating as an internet persona. The way she portrays herself is transparent and honest, then later admitting to obscuring and hiding the truth. And still somehow she clings to the label transparent even now. I have engaged in some of the sillier drama in my coverage of Anna, but when I started uncovering the truth about her health journey, especially in relation to her lipedema, I realized things were really serious, and it impacts way more people than just Anna. And the best medical advice should come from a doctor. So in order to do that, I was able to partner with ALT and be able to actually talk about this from a doctor's perspective.
Hello. How are you? Good to see you again.
To see you.
Let's talk about lipedema. Lipedema is a fat storage condition that's very under-recognized around the world. It always does get worse throughout a person's lifetime. The big problem is patients with lipedema are simply misdiagnosed as being overweight or obese.
Possibly the most important aspect of Anna's internet presence lately has been her lipedema surgery journey, which started almost a year ago, around June 2024. And that's mostly what her new video is about, like a reflection of her journey now that it's over. And if you want to know why I'm so passionate about lipedema specifically and medical misinformation in general, you may want to check out my video essays and an interview I did with a lipedema expert who I respect. I'll link some of those in the description. A couple of them are very long, I'm sorry, or you're welcome. Some people like longer videos. Basically, I learned that, in my opinion, Anna has become a significant pawn for a group of medical professionals who seem to prey on people like her. They accept what she says without question, and she in turn accepts what they say without question.
Then there's deposition of fat. and then the inflammation, the fibrosis. It's a whole process that goes on with it. And eventually it will begin to slow your metabolism down, because this fat is not only responding to hormones, it's producing estrogen and other hormones that progressively makes it harder and harder to lose weight. So you're about stage 2, she just begins to lose the whole battle with it, and she can find herself starving, eating very, very little, and she's still putting on weight, right?
Anna very well could have lipedema. I'm not here to debate that. But the treatment of her lipedema has been based on extremely tenuous or outright false information perpetuated by Dr. Karen Herbst, Anna's surgeon, Dr. David Amron, and plenty of other people in their sphere. Those two fall under the Roxbury Institute, which is a medical practice that specializes in liposuction specifically, but lipedema, broadly speaking. And of course, not only did these doctors tell Anna that she needed liposuction, but that she needed it urgently. I went on to find out during my lipedema investigation that very few people need liposuction as a medical treatment.
Personally, for me, liposuction for this morbidly obese patient is a crime. It's really a crime.
And contrary to what the Roxbury Institute would have you believe, obese people are the absolute worst candidates for liposuction.
Over the last 6 months, I've had a lot of trouble losing weight.
Anna had stopped losing weight with a GLP-1 medication, and even though those medications typically only result in a certain percentage of weight loss, Anna started looking for explanations elsewhere. She cannot accept that it is impossible to get to her size without a calorie imbalance. A lot of people who watch her are of the opinion that she doctor shops, based on how she describes her experiences with doctors.
She goes, "What are we going to do about your weight?" And I was just like, in other times, I would have been really upset, especially since I've been putting in a lot of work to making really positive changes in my life. But instead I said, I'm okay. I'm managing that with my primary healthcare provider. I'm not interested in seeking extra consultation on that. And you could tell she was a little pissed because she was definitely ready to sell me some shitty diet.
Anyone who treats her weight as the serious problem that it is, or implies that her weight could be causing her symptoms, are labeled as fatphobic. So she landed on Dr. Amron, who told her that she couldn't lose weight because of her lipedema, one of the most pervasive and dangerous lies spread by this community. I like to cover my ass and say allegedly or in my opinion a lot, but I feel pretty comfortable calling this a lie. There is no evidence for that stance, and there is plenty of evidence against it. That makes me angry because misinformation is being spread by doctors, but it mainly makes me angry because it actively hurts these patients. It makes a lot of people feel helpless. They're fed a false narrative that lipedema can cause massive weight gain, there's hardly anything you can do to stop it, and you need all these liposuction procedures so you don't wind up in a wheelchair. And not only that, but Dr. Herbst pushes a lot of other unproven things like copious amounts of supplements, food sensitivity testing, pneumatic compression, and hypobaric chambers. It's one of the reasons I call Anna a pawn in this enterprise. Yes, she's giving Dr. Herbst and Dr. Amron a bigger platform by advertising them on her social media, but she's also being used by them. In spite of the fact that the Roxbury Institute says they can get your surgeries covered by insurance, it seems Anna still had to pay out of pocket for at least some of it.
Surgery is traumatic. It is difficult. It is heavy emotionally. It is heavy physically. It's heavy socially. It's heavy financially. Like it hits you in a lot of different ways.
So they got money from her. They got to use her story on their own social media, and they got to advertise to her tons of followers. If you go to Anna's comment sections, wherever they're still enabled, you'll find plenty of people saying that her journey helped them figure out they had lipedema, or get a diagnosis, or get surgery with Dr. Amron. And knowing what I know now about this industry, and Dr. Amron specifically, that is terrifying to me. So where does that leave us now in May 2025?
That was a lot. That was a lot.
I have been waiting an entire year to live. And I've had to live this half-life for 12 months. And so now I get to just go be me, but better.
Did you miss me? Because I'm back.
Well, apparently Anna has had her last of 4 surgeries with Dr. Amron, and she's decided to return to YouTube after a 5-month hiatus. She's posted a few shorts here and there, but most of her content has been on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, podcasts. It seems she's kind of trickled out information about her surgeries there, but she's made more comprehensive YouTube videos for her previous surgeries, so a lot of people wondered when or if she'd ever come back to talk about it, and she finally did. It's kind of a long video for her at 27 minutes, but what struck me the most was not what she said in this video, but what she didn't say. She left a lot of things out of this story. I think the most obvious is that she didn't even explain what her surgeries were for.
So obviously I already made a bunch of videos about surgery number 1, which you can watch here. There's a link up. But the whole objective of that surgery was to clear out my pelvic girdle and the outside of my thighs. And the reason they did that in surgery 1 is because it was the worst, the most congested area, and it was the place I was experiencing the most pain.
She mentions having lipedema at certain points and vaguely references pain and fibrosis, but if you were a totally new viewer, you would be so confused. She does at least direct people to her previous videos and says, here's a link, but I don't know if it's just me, but I made sure info cards were enabled in my settings, and I looked at both my phone and my computer, and I couldn't see a link. There's nothing in the description either, so very helpful. But if you were to find your way to her first series of videos about her surgery journey, you would find blatant advertisement for the Roxbury Institute. Oh, and Leah Levitin's MLD practice.
Right now, we're kind of squeegeeing the fluid that sits just below the surface of the skin.
It's very hard to take this kind of thing seriously, and not only does it make Anna look bad, it also makes the Roxbury Institute look bad. To have doctors and medical staff goof off with patients on social media, spread what I think is very clear misinformation, it certainly made me take a deeper look, and here we are now.
I think the hardest thing about being such a public figure going through something as, challenging this in like a bigger body is that people have a lot of opinions about it, and they honestly research your life in a way that I just never anticipated. I don't honestly think I'm that important or that interesting to have merited the content that came out of this journey.
In her new video, Anna frames people speaking negatively about her surgery journey as attacking her for being a big person. Does that happen? Absolutely. And I've pointed that out before. There are people whose entire issue with Anna is that she's fat. And I really don't care. I have been obese myself. Some people are just fat. It's not reason to hate or criticize someone. For me, what really made me start looking at her differently was her misinformation about nutrition and weight loss.
I'm here for the people that need to learn about these surgeries, that need to be educated about these illnesses, who also need help, who don't know where to go, don't know where to start, don't know what it looks like. That's what I'm here for.
And when this lipedema art came into play, a lot of it didn't make sense to me. How could someone gain weight in spite of their calorie intake? I mean, a big reason I got into YouTube seriously was because I recognized I myself had a lot of misconceptions about how weight loss worked, and I wanted to share that. It's very simple. Calories in, calories out does work for everyone. There will always be people who want to argue about that, but you're just going to have to take that up with the laws of physics. Some people might have different calorie needs based on illnesses, medications, genetics, but the fact remains there is no illness that can create spontaneous fat out of nothing. Dr. Herbst in her sphere would have you believe that lipedema does this, and Anna believes it and spreads it on her social media. Oh, and she also learned from Dr. Herbst that she has special obesity genes that no one understands, so add that to the list of medical misinformation.
So now we know that these genes caused all my symptoms, the weight stuff, the anemia, the lipedema, the tumor, the thyroid issues, but we can't really do anything about it.
Frankly, I think it's insulting to say the only reason someone would criticize her is because of her weight. I see Anna as an individual person with a complex internal life, not just a 2D fat person on the internet. In many ways, I find her fascinating because I can relate to various parts of her life based on what she's shared. But to me, this video feels like an attempt to paint over the wrong she's done, because what else was glaringly missing from this video? Dr. Amron. He has been so incredibly present in previous videos. Anna's new video still is very much an advertisement, in my opinion, just based on the way it's shot and framed.
Good morning, Internet. I am here at the Roxbury Institute now. We're going to do my pre-op photos,
get ready for surgery tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you guys all about surgery number 3. With that, let's get going, because I'm actually late.
But not a word from Dr. Amron. Even when she features previous clips of him, they're silenced.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
Why might that be? Well, maybe because he or Anna have recognized that he's garnered quite a reputation from this publicity, the kind that has caused a lot of people to start referring to him as Scamron. Not that I'm accusing him of that sort of thing, just making an observation. I feel like Anna may have purposely left out all the things she's previously rightly been criticized for. Platforming sketchy information and possibly sketchy professionals. To claim that people just don't like her because she's a big woman on the internet is a lie. In my opinion, she may be a victim of this industry, but she's also responsible for helping to spread that harmful misinformation. Yes, Anna left out a lot of things in this video, but she couldn't resist the chance to take more pot shots at weight loss surgery. Anna has claimed in many places now that weight loss surgery won't help with lipedema and may be harmful to people with lipedema.
So I posted something yesterday where I was like, weight loss surgery is not a treatment for lipedema. And I had a very angry response to that with someone saying, it can help you get towards surgery, blah, 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 blah. And I am flabbergasted that people are not aware of the fact that many doctors promote weight loss surgery because it will be approved by insurance. The hardest part about that is if you are a later stage patient, someone like my size, and you have all those constricted veins and have all those constricted problems, it is going to exacerbate the problem.
Yeah.
Because it is not going to solve the fact that those systems are not working. So now you're asking your body to recover from a major surgery without repairing the systems it needs to recover.
Which is a claim that I know she's not able to substantiate because I've actually done the research. This is not true.
Another doctor recommended her liposuction, and we could convince her that liposuction would definitely not the right treatment for her. Personally, for me, liposuction for this morbidly obese patient is a crime. It's really a crime. We could convince her that bariatric surgery is the best option for her problem, and we admitted her in our obesity program and prepared her for a gastric bypass. And this was the patient 10 months later, and she was free of any complaints.
The only place I can conceive of her getting that line is from Dr. Amron or Dr. Herbst. I can't prove that, but I'm pretty sure she only started saying this after she went to the Roxbury Institute. So even though doctors are mysteriously absent in this one, the misinformation is still shining through.
This is something that I realize people do not understand. They expect like the results to be immediate. And I think that's because people are very familiar with like weight loss surgery, where you do see results very quickly. Like people begin to lose weight and they're like, oh, her body's changed. That is not how these surgeries work. The recovery period for these is up to like 18 months to 2 years.
It's actually quite the opposite. Weight loss surgery results may be fast, but they're not immediate. Liposuction results should be pretty immediate because they're literally sucking the fat out of you. Yes, it makes sense that you would swell at first because it's a surgery, but the fat is just no longer there. That's all liposuction does. The reason she says this, and the reason she claims the results may take up to 2 years, is because of Dr. Amron's false portrayal of what liposuction is for patients with lipedema. According to international experts, liposuction should be reserved for those who are a healthy weight, who have tried conservative treatments, but their pain and immobility has not improved. We're talking about rare, extreme cases of disproportionate pain that severely impact a person's life. And the results after recovery should be pretty immediate because, again, the purpose is just to remove the fat. What Dr. Amron claims is that lipedema is diseased and hormonally active fat, and that removing it will cause the body to regulate itself, meaning that his patients go on to lose weight regularly after surgery.
When you do the lipedema surgery and you remove all that hormonally active fat from the arms and legs, it tends in most patients to reset their metabolism. It becomes more normalized. You've decreased estrogen, and they then generally begin to lose weight in other areas, such as their torso area or even visceral fat. And I've seen this over and over again in patients who I said, you know what, Dr. Amron, after surgery, the areas look great, the arms and legs, but also as a bonus, I didn't change my diet and exercise, but I continued to lose weight thereafter. after surgery.
Nowhere is he able to substantiate that claim. All fat is hormonally active, and I'm still waiting for an explanation of what he means by diseased and how that contributes to weight gain or lack of weight loss.
The recovery period for these is up to like 18 months to 2 years.
I also think this is Anna's attempt, or maybe her surgeon's attempt, to explain why she honestly doesn't look that different after all of these surgeries. There are slight changes. I think the most noticeable results are her arms, but in addition to liposuction, she also had a brachioplasty, or an arm lift, so of course that'll be noticeable. But she's also had multiple leg surgeries that don't seem that noticeable, and her last surgery was basically a tummy tuck, and she doesn't reveal the results in this video. In fact, someone in the comments asked if she had an after picture, and she was like, well, it may take up to a year to see those results, like see you in 11 months or whatever. From what I've seen from other patients who've had this procedure, there should be very noticeable results. Maybe she's not comfortable sharing that yet, which is fine, but part of me wonders if she's pushing this long recovery time narrative because she herself hoped for drastically different results than what she got. And that would mean she went through all of this pain and hardship for little reward, even if I think that reward would be very short-lived regardless, because liposuction does remove fat cells, but it certainly doesn't cause natural weight loss. If Anna's eating habits don't change, then she's just going to gain that weight back.
Y'all don't know what I eat.
And she says time and time again that we don't know what she eats, and we can't tell what she eats just by looking at her. But again, you're just gonna have to take that up with the laws of physics. All of this makes me incredibly sad for her, but also angry. I feel like she's been misled, and her whole journey just served to mislead other people.
Obviously, I'm back, and I will be bringing back hauls because I have heard you loud and clear. You miss them. And you know what? I'm excited to do them now with my body changing. It's gonna be fun to like just explore my new ride. I basically had the human version of Pimp My Ride. So I want to explore, you know, what works for my body now.
I'm not sure how to feel about this new video. The harm has already been done. The most I can hope for is that she really is just trying to paint over all of this and just go back to clothing hauls again. I doubt she'll ever do the actually responsible thing and admit she was wrong and apologize to her audience. So honestly, yeah, I hope she really does just go back to business as usual, because I don't want to talk about her medical grifting and misinformation anymore.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Anyway, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that I've been more interested in like strange medical controversies lately. I think that's a lot more interesting and important use of my time. But I mean, I can't ignore that making content about Anna is what got me into all of this in the first place. And I really appreciate the audience that has come from that. But like I said, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I've said everything that there is to say about all of this. So thank you so much for being here and listening to me yap. Like I said, I have a couple of other things I'm planning to do soon, so if you like my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.
I am today, Fart Factory. I'm owning that truth.